marching in the light of God. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching, oh, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching, oh, we are marching in the light of God. We are living in the love 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 of God. We are living, living, we are living, oh, we are living in the love of God. We are living, living, we are living, oh, we are living in the love of God.
And it's really easy. We are marching, woo, we are marching in the light of God. Can you lead us? We'll do marching and what? One more. Marching and building. Duh. All right. You ready?
Marching in the light of God. We are 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 marching, we are marching, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching, we are marching, we are marching in the light of God.
Let's first bring it home.
We are building in the light of God. 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 We are building, we are building, we are building in the light of God. We are building, we are building, we are building in the light of God.
Amen. We're almost here. Mr. Thurman gave me a cigar. I love it. It's like a baby being born. And it is that kind of day. Something is being born. This block where houses once stood long ago, it gets to be reborn and rebuilt. And that's because of love, as we talked about today. It's the love we have for each other, the love we have for this neighborhood. Those aren't just names of Ann and 15th. That's a part of God's creation, and we're delighted to be a part of that creation and a part of the neighborhood. And so as we welcome for our friends here, I want you to remember we've been involved with Habitat for a long time as a congregation. We've been blessed to be partners in many ways and doing many things. It's been some time. And in the spring, we met with Habitat to say, it's time to build again. Let's do something fun. And so we talked about it, and as a church, we're really committed to this neighborhood because we remember that this neighborhood is called the Bottom, which means really that there's a basin, right, from the river over there. Not because of any meaning attached to it, although sometimes people who don't live in the neighborhood, and unfortunately some people who do live in the neighborhood, think that that name does mean something. But if it does mean what we sometimes are afraid it means, then where better for us to be as God's people? Because where does God begin but at the beginning? And what happens at the bottom other than that God lifts it up? And so here we are in our neighborhood at the bottom with each other. And we are building one house, and then the hurricane came, and Habitat said, you know, it's a double lot. We might be able to build a couple, maybe 4 was what the city has zoned us for. And I wasn't sure because I'm new here. And I was sitting at a table with Mr. Bert Exum, who's standing off of camera, so he won't be identified. He said, I said, wow, we're going to do this? And he said, we're going to do this. And so we gathered together. We said we're going to build this house and help lead others to build so that 4 houses can be built by the anniversary of Hurricane Florence. That's crazy, and it's ridiculous, and it's extraordinary, and it's what's needed. And we pray that once we lean into God's invitation, that good things can get done. So more people will talk about that in a second, but let me welcome everyone. The congregation of St. Andrew's Covenant. Can you raise your hands? You all here? You guys are amazing. And thank you especially to Kimberly, who's been leading this initiative on your behalf and who's been at lots of meetings. Kimberly, grateful for all of your work and effort. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Steve Spain, Executive Director for Cape Fear Habitat for Humanity. I thank you all for coming out today. I can say normally I've got to try and make a guess, but I can say today without any guesses at all, this is the largest crowd we've ever had for a groundbreak. So thank you very much. And some people mentioned to me, if you'd driven by here a few weeks ago, you probably would have said, no way you get 4 houses there. But now that it's cleared out, it's easy to envision 4 nice, affordable, beautiful, energy efficient houses going up. And we're very grateful to have 2 of the families here today, and there will be 2 more. And believe it or not, we will get them all done by the anniversary of Florence. And that is mostly due to the work of Derek and everyone who's helping him out. It's interesting to hear the story of how this happened the way Derek sees it, because the way I see it is there's been this guy, this pastor from St. Andrews, who's had my arm up behind my back like this, saying, yeah, we started out, Kimberly actually started it by saying, you have to come meet our pastor, you have to meet our new pastor, and anyone who knows her knows that you should just come the first time, she tells you, because she will get you there. And she persisted, and I got to meet Derek, which was a pleasure, and we talked about, I was excited, I left our first meeting, all right, he sounds like he's down to sponsor a house. And then things started tumbling. I mean, really what happened was, while we were planning for one house, Florence came. And Habitat took a break from what we normally do. We normally are building new houses in 3 counties, but we felt that we had to stop and help the people who were hurt the most by what happened. And so we did a lot of muck and gut work and repair work. And so we stopped building for 3 months. But we didn't stop talking. And Derek and the folks at St. Andrew's Covenant realized that what we needed to do was just build more. Sometimes you can get lost. What's the right way to respond to things? And sometimes it's incredibly clear and simple. And in this case, this community lost a lot of affordable housing, and it didn't have any to spare to start with. So we know how to build houses. So stop messing around and build more houses. And thanks to partners like St. Andrew's Covenant, we're going to be able to do that. Now, normally we do a groundbreaking on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. So it's really easy for me to be done in like 2 minutes, bleary-eyed. And now I've listened to somebody preach for the last hour. So you could be in trouble because I have been inspired. But I'm going to try and stay brief in my inspiration. But one of the things I thought about during the service, which we talked a lot about love and the power of love, and what occurred to me was really nothing that's valuable gets done by yourself. Everything involves partnership. You can't really, I know some people do love themselves, but it's not very profitable for them or the community. You can't love by yourself. You can't be kind by yourself. You can't build a house by yourself. The things that we do that are really important, we do in partnership. And that's why the Habitat model and community partners like St. Andrew's Covenant, our county commissioners, our city officials, all come together to really make that happen. And I like to think of it as a conspiracy of love and kindness. We're all conspiring together to bring more love and more kindness into the world. So with that, I will just welcome you all to our conspiracy and thank you for being here. And now I would like to introduce our mayor and to say that, as was mentioned, this was not zoned for 4. This was zoned for 2. And it's one of those great things anybody in the building trades will understand. From here to there is 99 feet, but you must have 50 feet of road frontage. So we were not able to divide without going and getting it rezoned. City officials were behind us all the way on that, and the neighborhood as well. So we're very fortunate to do that. And speaking to us for the city. Welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Steve. I'd also like to ask Woody White and also Rob Zappel to join me up here, because we do have a partnership. And I just want to say, you know, we went through a pretty tough time during Hurricane Florence, and I had an opportunity to work with Woody, with all the national media that came in to see us. But you know, this was a partnership, all of us working together to try to clean this community up as quickly as possible, get people back on their feet. And obviously the challenges that we have in front of us are great and many, and we have a lot of people that were displaced because of this hurricane here in Wilmington, but also in the surrounding areas. I know that Steve and your crowd are doing a tremendous job in trying to help people out in Pender County that got devastated with a tremendous amount of loss of houses there. But we want to thank you for everything that you do. And I want to ask them to say a few words also. But we also know that affordable housing is a critical issue for us here in Wilmington, Hanover County. I mean, to be the mayor of one of the most popular cities in America is great, don't get me wrong, but we got more demand than we have supply of homes, and as that happens, prices go up, and it forces people out of their, this area because of that. So we've got to do whatever we can in partnership with the county, in partnership with the private sector to make it happen. So I want to thank St. Andrew's Covenant Church. You're a beautiful church. You do a lot of great things in our community, day in and day out, and I want to thank you for your public service to our community, because it makes a big difference to have these kinds of partnerships with different folks and different organizations. And I just want to say, I've heard a lot about your preaching, Derek, and now I know why he's such a dynamic folks, but thank you for being here, Pastor. And I just want to also say one thing about Habitat, because a lot of people don't know this. When we got into the Great Recession in 2008, what a lot of people don't know, from 2008 to about 2012, the largest, biggest builder in the community was Habitat for Humanity. It wasn't the private sector, it wasn't individual contractor, it wasn't developer. It was Habitat for Humanity. And that was incredible to see that happen. So again, it's a great day in the city of Wilmington. Thank you to the homeowners. God bless you. You're going to have a great neighborhood. Thurman is a great guy who give you a cigar. And just have a great day. Thank you very much, Woody and Rob.
Mayor, thank you for being here. This is a special day for us. I also want to recognize Rob Lapp, another minister with St. Andrews, who baptized both of my children. Thank you very much. And Tammy, who I don't often recognize, she doesn't like when I do this, but she has helped Derek a lot with setting this up, and it's just very meaningful for us, and it's an honor to be here. It's almost an embarrassment of riches, the blessings that this church has, and most recently because of you, Derek, and you, Rob, and what you're doing to revitalize this church and this neighborhood and this community. It's humbling to watch and witness. And I can't tell you how proud I am to be a part of this church. So thank you all very much, and thanks for having us here today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Woody, for those words. Thank you, Reverend. Thank you so much. But I also really want to pass on my advance thank you for all the sweat equity that I know you have and you will be putting into these 4 houses to make them a reality. It's just a wonderful this partnership between the public, private, and the faith community, bringing us all forward to increase the quality of life in all areas of our county and our city. It's just so important. Thank you, Bert, for your leadership in making this happen. And Tammy, thank you so much for kind of pulling together the church. Rob, thank you as well for making this happen. I go to a lot of the groundbreakings. This is absolutely the largest, Steve, where we are, the largest group that we've had here. And it just makes my heart swell and all of our hearts swell to know that it's really working as a community. We actually get it, and we're going to make it better. In this specific area, which had a lot of damage done to it during Hurricane Florence, wow, to clear the canvas here and to create 4 new homes that are going to be energy efficient, and think of the lives that will be changed as a result of people knowing where they can put their head at night. That will help their lives in so many different ways, their relationships, their work life, and to create generations beyond that. This is the way to do it, and you're doing it. Thank you very much.
Introduce the families in just a minute. But first, I did want to recognize everyone else that's been working on the committee. Tammy, Laura Padula, Gary Smith, Ed Hobson, Jeff Denlinger, I may have left out someone else, is a veteran. He served in the Army. He was a nuclear and biochemical specialist. And he's working here in Wilmington as a chef. Susie is an artist. And they are very excited about their home. Would you like to say anything?
We are overwhelmed with the amount of people here today. This is like really heart-touching on so many levels. To feel like so many people have a stake in our future home that I am truly humbled by all of those. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wilmington. She was living in Delco before Hurricane Florence hit. So she had, making all that transportation back and forth for her jobs. But her house was destroyed in the hurricane. And that just made things a lot different for Sharon. And she is going to rebuild here in Wilmington and be living here closer to her jobs. And we're very excited for her to be joining us and right down the street. So, would you like to say anything?
I'd just like to say thank God. Thank you all. I'm very blessed for everyone to participate in every step of the way for the new home. Thank you so much.
And I'm going to ask Steve and Derek to come back up here, and let's get on with the business.
Howdy. We have St. Andrew. I appreciate it. I get to do this all the time. I need one more. Who'd like to help turn some dirt? Derek, you gave yours to the kids. Come over here.
Come with me over here. You can put a foot on each one. Okay, you ready?
All right, and now I'm going to read a short prayer, and as I say the names of the Trinity, we're going to turn 3 scoopfuls of dirt. With faith in Jesus Christ, this work is begun and this ground is broken. In the name of the Father,
Turn it. Go.
oh, there it goes,
And then turn it and then pass it on.
and of the Son,
Okay, now. Put your foot on it. Put your foot on it.
and of the Holy Spirit.
Put your foot in.
And can we get a group? Amen. And now they're all grateful for the rain last night.
So one chance we get to just goof around in the mud. Keep digging. We got a lot to dig. And so it's time to go, but not because we're finished. We're just getting started. And we start on Saturday with our first build. And there's opportunities to sign up and volunteer through the Habitat website, which you can find also through our website. And so thanks to our committee who will be hustling and getting you involved and engaged. But it is time to go into the day. And so to our families, to our special guests, to counselors, to commissioners, to the mayor, to all of you, we are so grateful to God. Let's not leave this place without saying thank you one more time. So please lovingly and appropriately grab a hand beside you. Everybody's gotta be touching somebody. All right? Now sometimes we look down, I need you to look up and I need you to look around because this is your family. And so welcome to our friends in the back. So we're working with St. Luke AME Zion. We're working with partners in the neighborhood. This is a project for the city with the city. And so now looking around at your brothers and sisters, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord be kind and gracious unto you. May the Lord look upon you with favor and grant you deep peace every day of this build and every day and onward. Thanks be to God.
Amen.
All right.